yeah, looking forward to getting going. With that, I would take your questions.
Coming off of what you saw against Co and knowing what you'll be up against North Texas, what's that translated into in terms of what the message is to the players?
Oh, we'd like to be able to take what we did offensively in the first half and set the shooting aside. It's more about the opportunities that the guys created. The pace that we played with, our passing, the possessions we had, and the opportunities, like I said, that were created by the players. We'd like to be able to take a lot of that with us into the game tomorrow night. Defensively, we were good. We weren't great, and we've spent quite a bit of time on the practice floor and quite a bit of time talking about that. We've got to keep working our positioning, our fundamentals defensively, our help defense, our defense as a unit. Those things all have they've got plenty of work to do, and so we've worked a lot on those things. We know that we're going to need those tomorrow night. And like I said, offensively, can we play at that same pace? Can our passing be really good? Can we create some of those same opportunities?
Where do you any changes at all in terms of after Co with the rotation?
No. We'll start the same guys as we've talked about with Trey and Landon. Being the first guys. RJ is going to play at the point, and then Kyle, Drew, Cole. Those three guys. When you look at the backup 4 and 5, those are the three guys that. We could see all three of them. We could see for sure should see 2 of the 3, but could see all 3 of them. Wes is going to be out for a little bit longer with that ankle, so he will not dress or play tomorrow night.
How did you like how Jacob got involved against Co, particularly inside? Because you had mentioned that you're able to get him looks and flow, even though that wasn't necessarily actions you had in years past.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it some. He's got really good footwork. He's got good hands. He's got a really good feel for playing. So handling the ball, passing the ball, being the quarterback offensively is what we need in that position for us to be able to run flow at the highest levels for us. And then he's whether it's on that pocket pass or the drop off on his way to the basket, he's good there catching and finishing. There was a couple times where they switched some things and they put a smaller defender on him, and he's really smart about his positioning. We were able to throw it over just over the top of him. Now, some of those opportunities were available because of the difference in size, difference in levels. That isn't always going to be available. It may or may not. In terms of some of those size mismatches on the switches, and North Texas has not shown that they'll do a lot of switching with their 5-man. But then also, we saw it some in the scrimmage. We've seen it in practice, and maybe a little bit, maybe not as much in the Co game. But we can throw it to him on the block. Right? So I've just touched on a number of different areas where he's comfortable finding ways to get a catch, finding ways to score the basketball, and we really like where his confidence is at. You saw it on it was either a trail 3 or a somewhere out of flow where he hit the 3 in the first half against Co. He's practicing and playing with a lot of confidence, and I know tomorrow night is the first real one, but he's in a really good place, and just love the confidence he's playing with.
With a new coach at North Texas this year, are you, from a scouting and preparation standpoint, kind of going in blind to this game?
Not really. He was on staff last year,
okay.
And we've known him for a long time over the years on the recruiting trail, and very, very good coach. And so don't feel like there's going to be things that are wholesale in terms of changes or different. They were one of the top defensive teams in the country last year, and so you return. He's moved from I believe associate head coach to the head coaching position. And then you return 4 of the players that played significant minutes. So, from a defensive standpoint, just don't feel like they're going to change much at all. Given their success and given the players and coach that they have back. Offensively, you always want to fit your roster, So could there be some things that are a little bit different than what we saw on film last year based on the roster? Yeah, most years that's typical, based on what the roster looks like, or some of maybe the roster changes. But I don't think there'll be wholesale changes on offense either. When you win that many games and you win an NIT championship and you've got enough players back, which they do, right? Significant guys back that understand what it took to get that done at a high level, right? Just don't feel like there's going to be a ton different in terms of how they scheme it, how they run their offense or defense.
Cole Henry is a guy who speaks very confidently about this team every time I get a chance to talk about him. What does that confidence in one of your players tell you about this group?
Yeah, Cole's been continues to be great. He's putting a lot of time in. He's in here early, and has been, working on his conditioning. He's had a little bit of trouble with the knee, going back a couple weeks when he was out 3-4 days of practice, and just wanting to make sure that he is as prepared as he can be. So I know individually, in terms of the amount of time that he's putting in, has increased his confidence, right? And one of the things that Cole and I have talked about is his leadership as an older guy. And anytime when you put more, when you commit more time to it, your confidence is going to increase. When you've got that going on with an older guy who is going to have a voice on your team, it's multiplied, right? And Cole's able to do that right now for us, and he has. When he and I have talked, he's talked in the same terms. How much, and as a fifth-year guy, when he talks about the teamwork when we're practicing, more importantly, our conversations have surrounded after practice, when the guys are hanging out, the way in which the camaraderie of the group. Cole has been the same way with me as it sounds like he has when you've talked with him about it, and it's really good to hear when it's a guy who's been here for 4.5 years, right? That he feels that way about his teammates and about this group. And yeah, there's a level of excitement within the team right now to get going, and we know we've got a heck of an opener tomorrow night, and I think that adds to the excitement that we're playing such a quality opponent. But I know that, and again, going back to your question with Cole, I know he can feel it from his teammates, and I know the guys are looking forward to it.
Where does season opening day fall on Ben Jacobson's favorite days of the year? Whether it's where it ranks against Christmas or your anniversary with your wife or the first day of the fishing trip at the cabin.
Wow.
Like, how does it measure up?
Pete, this is maybe where I need you, buddy.
It's not above your anniversary, I know that.
Yeah, see, I knew you'd come in
I was
handy.
trying to help by including
I knew you'd
that
come
one.
in handy.
I was trying to help by including that one, Ben.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 kids and they've got birthdays, and we've got a wonderful wife. So we've got an anniversary, and she's got a birthday. Yeah, we're pretty close to the top, fellas. There's no, when you do this all the time, it's the only thing outside of my family, right, and outside of my friends, like, this is the only thing that I do. And then you touched on the things I like to do outside of basketball, but that's the only thing I've been doing since I can't remember. So opening day is a big deal, right? And there's a real excitement around our team, and yeah, it is. Opening day is a big deal. Anybody else? Good, thanks.